Alright, so Sony has been, as of late, pumping out some great PC ports for their exclusive, and you can certainly add Returnal to that because this is another amazing port from them. Immediately, you're going to be impressed with how many customization options there are in this game. That it is pretty impressive, especially for us ultra wide user, because we're not really accustomed to see these type of customization when it comes to ultra wide settings. But Sony has included a slew of options that I think that is probably the first time I've seen in a game that supports ultra wide natively. So under the ultra wide setting in the cinematic option, you can choose to keep the black bars during FMV, or you can have it turned on. And what it does is it extends the video and it blurs out the normally where the black bars would be. So I think that's a great option that all games should have going forward. As for the in-game UI, you can just leave it at default, which it will be to the edge of the screen. Or if you're on one of the 32 by 9 screen and you find it too troublesome to have it that far out, then you can just constrain it to 16 by 9. So you have that option now. Now, there's also a built-in FPS counter along with other options like CPU utilization, GPU, the temperature, clock speed, VRAM, and it all looks really neat the way that they have it displayed, and it gives a really nice, clean look. And I think it's one of the better looking one that's in a game. And again, you can also constrain that to 16 by 9 along with all the other UI. Now, when it comes to the upscaling technology, it supports pretty much everything that you can think of that's out there right now. So that's pretty impressive. And also, it does include a built in game FOV slider, and I found the max settings to be perfect. Now, as great as the PS5 controller is for this game and how well it's utilized the feature for it, it still doesn't beat how great it feels and natural it feels to play this game with a mouse and keyboard. You do have the option to customize pretty much everything, all the keys, including the mouse, which is perfect. And yeah, there's just no beating playing this game with the mouse and keyboard. Now, this game did advertise to have Atmos sound, and it definitely delivers. If you hook it up to a sound system that supports Atmos, you are in for a treat. And if you have a headphones that supports 3D sound, it also sounds amazing. You do have to own the Dolby Atmos Microsoft app if you want to enable Atmos sound. Of course, it's not going to sound as great as a full-fledged system, but if all you have is a headphone, I would recommend grabbing that app, which is a one-time purchase of $15. There is a 7-day trial. You can test it out, but I highly recommend using it to play this game, utilizing Atmos sound, because this is one of those games that is going to really add to the immersion based on what you hear. Now, this game does support HDR and ray tracing. With HDR, it's just a simple on and off. There's not much to it, and it looks pretty good. However, with ray tracing on, I did notice that there's some slight hitches here and there, but nothing that ruins the experience. But if you don't play with ray tracing, then yeah, the performance is going to be excellent. It's just that for those that have ray tracing on, it seems to be causing a slight hitch there and there. Hopefully that gets ironed out in some patches in the future. But for now, it's not enough to ruin the experience. It still runs pretty good. Overall, this is another great port by Sony. And if you've never played this game before, I highly recommend you put it on your radar because it gives off that sense of pride and accomplishment, taking it from EA. When you defeat a boss and when you trek through it, because this game is very hard, just like From Software game like Elden Ring. They're both very hard games, but it's hard because you don't really know the mechanics of the boss yet. But then as you continue to play and die and just repeat and rinse the process, it gets easier every turn. And eventually, once you do beat the first boss, it's going to give you that great sense of accomplishment like you did with any From Software game. So that's another great things about this game that you really don't get with many game nowadays. That great sense of accomplishment when you do defeat that boss. And it does help that this game has a great shooting mechanics. It feels so good, and with being on the PC now with mouse and keyboard, it just makes it that much better. Alright guys, that does it for my quick take on Returnal, and that is it for the video, and I will see you in the next one. Again, take care. Bye.
Appears safe to repurpose. Xenotype blade weapon.